Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. For privacy reasons, the names and locations in this story have been changed. However, these are real-life confessions shared by real people. Now, let's dive into today's shocking story.
I never thought my marriage would end like this, not because of love fading, not because of an affair, but because a billionaire walked into our lives and made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Or could I? This is how my world shattered in a single moment. It started small. My wife, Cynthia, became distant. She started dressing differently, more elegant, more expensive. New jewelry, new handbags, things I knew I never bought her. At first, I thought, maybe she's just spoiling herself. After all, she had her own job. But then came the late nights, the hushed phone calls, the disconnected look in her eyes, and then the lies. "I'm just out with friends," she'd say. But I knew something was off. So one night, I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. She pulled up to a 5-star hotel. My heart pounded as I watched her walk into the lobby. She wasn't meeting friends. She wasn't working late. I was about to walk in after her when I saw him. Tall, powerful, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit. He didn't even have to say a word. He just gestured, and she followed him upstairs. I felt like I was going to throw up. My wife was with another man. I couldn't sleep that night. The next morning, as soon as she walked into the house, I confronted her. "Cynthia, who is he?" I asked, my voice shaking. She went pale. At first, she denied it, but when I showed her the photo I took of them entering the hotel, she just broke down. "It's not what you think," she whispered. But then she said something that made my blood run cold. "He paid me." I was too stunned to speak. Paid her? That's when I learned the truth. The man was Daniel Cross, a billionaire investor, one of the richest men in the city. He approached my wife with an offer, money in exchange for her time, and she accepted. But that wasn't the worst part. The next day, I got a call from him. He wanted to meet, and when I arrived at his penthouse, he looked at me like I was a business deal. Then he said it. "I'll give you $10 million if you walk away and never speak of this again." $10 million. Life-changing money. The kind of money that could erase every struggle, every worry. But could I really just sell my silence? I asked him why. "Because she's not the first," he smirked. "And she won't be the last." That's when I realized this wasn't just about me. This man did this regularly. He broke marriages for sport. I had two choices: take the money and pretend none of this happened, or expose him, knowing he had endless power, money, and influence. I walked away from that meeting without giving him an answer. That night, I packed my bags, not for the money, not for revenge, but for my own self-respect. Cynthia begged me to stay, but I couldn't, because in the end, there are things money can't buy, and one of them is my dignity.
So, what would you have done in his place? Would you have taken the $10 million and moved on? Or fought back against someone who could destroy you? Because I'd love to hear your take on this. If you enjoyed this insane story, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more shocking confessions. And don't forget to turn on notifications, because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.